One never changes. In 2077, a nuclear war destroyed the world. Mutants, ghouls, mirelurks, and bizarre creatures from the Wasteland Survival Guide emerged, making life harder for survivors. But there's luck in the Wasteland. If chosen by Vault-Tec, you can become a proud Vault Dweller and start a new life underground. Maybe one day you'll be a hero like the Wanderer, leaving your mark on the Wasteland. Today's story has three protagonists: Vault Dweller Lucy, Brotherhood of Steel recruit Mark, and a cowboy ghoul. Lucy is from Vault 3. She's skilled in repair, speech, gymnastics, fencing, and combat. She can shoot, but isn't accurate. Today is her wedding day, but Lucy doesn't know her husband. Vault 33 has few people, and after generations, everyone is a cousin. Girls can only marry someone from Vault 32. Lucy wore a wedding dress passed down through generations and went to the courtyard, where corn grew. A projector on the vault wall played beautiful countryside scenes. Lucy's father, Hank, waited for her. Hank took her hand, and with residents, they went to the junction of Vault 3 and Vault 32. As the steel door opened, Lucy saw her husband, a handsome short-haired man. Though it was their first meeting, Lucy's expression showed he was her type. It was like opening a mystery box and finding a grand prize, bringing new genes to the vault. The wedding was in Vault 3, with Vault 32 residents attending as guests. They were rough, some with scars. They devoured the food, unaccustomed to using knives and forks, these pre-war utensils. Lucy didn't think much. After a dance, her husband hurriedly pulled her into the bridal chamber. Inside, they were affectionate, but outside, discord occurred. A Vault 3 resident crossed the door into Vault 32 and was shocked to find the wheat had withered and the place was looted. She walked a few more steps and saw a resident's corpse. After the passion, Lucy sensed something was wrong. Her husband was strong, but the Pip-Boy on his wrist showed high radiation. The source was her husband, not a Vault Dweller, but a Wastelander exposed to radiation. Lucy and her husband began a life-and-death fight. The Wastelander, experienced in combat, pinned Lucy against a cabinet. He stabbed Lucy, and the alarm sounded, catching the Wastelander's attention. Lucy grabbed a bottle and turned the tables. She was seriously injured, but could be saved. Lucy pulled out the knife and staggered to give herself a stim-pack, quickly healing. She rushed into the hallway, grabbed a tranquilizer gun, and tried to eliminate the intruders. The courtyard was chaotic, with residents and raiders clashing. They were no match for these wasteland scum, suffering heavy casualties. Lucy and her father, Hank, dealt with the raiders and rushed to the vault entrance. Several residents were hostages. The raiders were armed, and their leader, Limor, seemed familiar with Hank. He gave Hank a choice: save his daughter or the residents. Hank chose to sacrifice himself, locking his daughter behind a door. Then he gave up resisting and became Limor's captive. Limor released the hostages and took Hank away, leaving Vault 3. Some survived, and although some died, the injured quickly recovered with stimpaks. They planned to learn from the experience, close the door, and continue their lives. However, Lucy proposed forming a team to rescue her father. Other residents were indifferent. Hank was the overseer and leader, and his death gave others a chance to rise. To save her father, Lucy had to rely on herself. With two friends' help, Lucy sneaked to the top of the vault and used her Pip-Boy to connect to the entrance control panel. The door opened, and Lucy saw real sunlight for the first time. Just outside, she saw bones and ruins, the road ahead desolate and silent. The barren land showed no signs of life. For the first time, a vault dweller who lived underground for over 200 years set foot on the perilous wasteland. The story shifts to Mark. After the nuclear war, the world became a wasteland. The Americans fled to the sea and reorganized into the Enclave. The remnants formed the Brotherhood of Steel, dedicated to recovering technology to prevent humanity from destroying itself. The Brotherhood is small but well equipped, with vertibirds and power armor. Near Vault 3, the Brotherhood has an ace, the Steel Zeppelin from the East Coast. Mark is a new recruit. Today is his promotion day. Mark kneels before the Elder, listening to the Knight's oath, pledging loyalty to the Brotherhood, and becoming a knight. Soon, it was reported that a resident under Enclave rule escaped into the wasteland, carrying an item of great potential. This item could destroy the wasteland or save America. The Brotherhood dispatched every knight to find the bespectacled old man and recover the item. The time for departure arrived. Mark followed his knight onto a vertibird. He wanted to get close to his superior, but the knight removed a piece of armor and tossed it to Mark to clean. The Brotherhood has a strict hierarchy, and a knight's squire is only slightly above a recruit. The vertibird transported them to a location several kilometers from their mission site. The knight, bored with flying, wanted to jump down and find something to shoot. The knight held his squire and rappelled down, tracking the traces and finding the old man's campsite. The camp was in front of a cave. Mark discovered bones and wanted to investigate, but a roar came from the cave. The knight found a target to shoot. He led his squire into the cave, making Mark walk in front as bait. A mutant bear launched a surprise attack. The bear became a monster due to radiation. The knight tried to shoot, but the monster bit off the gun barrel. Facing the behemoth, the knight, despite his power armor, found himself powerless. After a few rounds of combat, he shouted for help and fled. The bear chased and tackled the knight, biting into the armor. Mark stood by, dumbfounded, but the bear was powerless against the power armor. After clawing and biting, it only left scratches on the armor. The knight kept shouting for help, urging Mark to shoot. Mark snapped out of it, drew his pistol, and aimed at the bear's head. Despite its size, one shot was enough to bring it down. Although the knight was saved, his morale was shattered. He removed his helmet and complained about the Elder. The organization once sent him on a mission where he risked his life to recover the target, only to find it was just an oven. The man had enough of the wasteland and no longer wanted missions. As for this failure, the knight blamed Mark. "I got a 2-ton irradiated bear on my back, and he's standing there." Mark had taken out a stim pack, but hearing this, he realized he had another option. Kill the knight, take the power armor, find the target, and bring it back to the base to complete the mission.